Events, weddings, corporate events, parties, you name it, River Ranch Stockyards can do it all. Check them out, riverranchstockyards.com. A proud partner of Trey's Chowdown and Trey's Chowdown Live. Hope to see you at the table soon. Adios. Season 5 of Chef's Deliciousness and Cocktails starts right now. Woo! We're back here for another edition of Trey's Chowdown Live. I'm here with Kelly and Mike.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all very much for coming today.
Yeah, thank you.
And that is Oak'd BBQ.
Yes, sir.
Is it titled Oak'd Handcrafted Barbecue, or just is that you say Oak'd?
Well, we do both. I mean, it's it is technically Oak'd Handcrafted Barbecue because we just make everything from scratch every day. But Oak'd Barbecue is kind of our quick to word that we go to.
You're pit master and chef, and then
Yes,
who was the other gentleman I met there the night that was working the? He's obviously assistant of yours. But
Nathan is in charge of the pit team, so he's the pit boss, and so Nathan runs the pits and runs the team that runs all the pits because we're running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I can't do that every day. I would like to think I could, but my years have caught up with me, so I can't do it every day.
Kelly, how did you get involved with all this?
Well, actually, through my husband, really. I think Mike and my husband, Alan, ran into each other at a Starbucks or something. Alan tells me the story.
Yep.
And because my husband and I have a podcast, we call it A Sandwich and Some Lovin'.
Right.
Might as well give myself a plug.
I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I think Mike was interested in podcasting, and they started talking about that because you also have like a barbecue themed podcast.
Right.
And then just the subject came up that Mike was getting ready to open a restaurant, and there happened to be some opportunities for investment, and we grabbed one. So we are investors in the restaurant.
Isn't that funny how things happen in the weirdest places?
You know what? It's all God's timing. We don't have to always be looking for it. Sometimes it just lands in your lap, right?
I tell everybody the best deals are made golf courses, bars, and coffee shops.
That's right.
It's because I think it's when people are the least stressed.
Yeah. You're more your natural environment.
Yeah, right.
So Al and I were just literally sitting next to each other for a good 30, 45 minutes, and we kind of just started talking up, conversation and talking about what we each do, and it kind of just evolved from there. So. And how did that conversation go? You already had everything about Oak'd in your mind, and so you just started pitching. Yeah, I started working on Oak'd probably a year and a half before that. So we were right in the midst of designing the concept and laying it all out, and I just happened to talk about what I was doing that day, and I had some drawings on the table that day, and he started asking me about it, and I started telling him what it was about. So.
But they had to feed us first.
That's right.
Because we had to make sure that.
Oh yeah.
Because our name's going to be attached
to it. That was my next question.
Yes. So you had a dinner. I don't even remember it was somebody's house, and all these people came that were thinking about investing, and then we met the pit master, and we met the actual farmers that are raising the beef. It's all local and organic, and it was just really great. And we saw how much passion there was behind the whole concept, but then we tasted the food. And that's the selling point, right? So we were like, here's a check. How many zeros? But it's been great.
Well, we want to make sure that we're focused in on the quality of the product all the way back at the farm and the ranch and all the way through the whole process. I'm very particular about it.
One thing I was really impressed about, and I think I told you this when I was there, I didn't want to bother you too much because it was a crazy night for you, but a lot of restaurants, and I used to own restaurants, that. Yep. A lot of restaurant opens are really crazy, and everything was, pristine, organized, and the food was coming out fantastic, and everybody was. It was a fantastic opening.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because it's difficult.
Very.
And some nights it didn't feel like that. It was pristine, organized, but I'm a perfectionist, so I try to make sure that all the all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted as much as I can.
And sometimes delays are godsends because
Yeah,
the restaurant was originally supposed to open last March.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When everything started shutting down, but with city delays and permits and things just kept getting delayed, and we didn't realize at the time that was just actually a gift, because we would open then.
Yeah.
Who knows what would have happened?
Because your career's in the radio and has been for a long time, the Kid Craddock Show, when it came down, and y'all were all still in the studio when it came down, correct? In Las Colinas or wherever your studio is?
Right.
And how did that, obviously, when it first came down, did you think, because I thought it was going to be no big deal when I first heard about it.
I did too. Yeah. I'm not a panicky person.
Me either.
My boss man. And it was actually the week of our spring break, and I'd flown home to South Carolina to visit my Aunt Velma, because I love her so much. And I was there just a couple days, and boss man called and said, "You've got to come home." It was right when everybody started panicking. It was March, and he was afraid that the airports were going to shut down. I wouldn't be able to get back. And I said, "I'll rent a car. It'll be fine. I'll get back. I promise." He said, "No, come home." And so I did, and that's right when everything started just shutting down.
Oh, wow.
And so we've been working from home for most of the pandemic, and still working from home. But I'm ready, I'm ready for us to get back to normal. I think a lot of people are. We want to do it safely, of course. But I think everybody's just longing to get back out there, to start living life and having fun and eating some good barbecue and listening to some great music. We have both at Oak'd. And
yeah, you got that's another thing. I was going to get to that. Oak'd is a fully rounded concept.
It is.
There's nothing that you don't have at Oak'd. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, we're doing live music on the weekends every Friday and Saturday night from 6 to 9, and that'll grow as things keep developing with the brand. I'm working on the brunch menu right now. So in March, a brunch menu turns on. We'll have music in the mornings, and we'll have music in the evenings. So we'll have and you'll see in a few minutes we have these awesome biscuits. I think your wife loves them, right?
Yeah.
So we took these awesome biscuits, and we're going to throw brisket on them and a poached egg or hollandaise.
You remember what I made you do? I wanted to make you. I asked you. I got up. I said, "Man, I need to get a better picture. Can you go?" And we poured butter on it and whatever it was. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're big too.
They're very big.
Yeah. Well, the pastry chef, she's just incredible, and her resume is like jaw-dropping.
Yeah, she's very good. So, and everything's made from scratch every day. The kitchen is running 24 hours a day.
And the beef comes, and you told me that I just can't remember everything. The beef comes from?
Our Wagyu comes from Rosewood. So I partnered up with Rosewood, the Hunt family, and then all the prime comes from 2 different ranches across the state. So we're running prime and Wagyu. So you can come in and choose. I want a quarter pound of Wagyu and a half pound of prime, and then we got Wagyu beef ribs, and which we'll see today here in a little bit. But
that's good.
And the difference between the two is really the marbleization of the fat. It gives you more buttery consistency, viscosity in your mouth. It changes the whole profile, the way they take care of it. I
call it meat butter.
It is meat butter. Yeah. In fact, I'm working on. I've been working around with playing, and I've been taking the fat from the Wagyu that we trim off, and I'm making compound butter from it. So I'm rendering down.
That would be fantastic.
And so you eventually here pretty soon. Almost got the recipe exactly where I want it, but you'll be able to come in and get a compound butter of Wagyu on it. So.
Meat butter is a thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I heard some guy say that one time because I was eating some bone marrow, and scrubbing it and putting it on a piece of fresh bread. And I heard a guy say that, so I just took it from him and used the term because that's what it is basically.
Yeah. It is, So
how did the concept of Oak'd come about?
Well, it's an interesting story. Again, I don't know what it is about Starbucks, but about 5 years ago, I was sitting next to another gentleman every day because my normal day job, I was parked at a Starbucks every day. I didn't want to be at home.
Right.
And he and I just started having conversations, and we became friends. Started going to lunch every couple of days, and we were just hanging out. And his name is Clinton Norton. He's my business partner in the brand. And I said, Clint, I think I'm going to get back in the restaurant business. I'm a fine dining chef, and I own a catering company for 20 years. And he said, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know yet, but as soon as I figure it out, I'll tell you. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, I said, I think I'm going to do barbecue. And he said, I'm from a barbecue restaurant brand, and my brother's in the barbecue business. And I said, I didn't know that. And so we started talking about it. And I said, barbecue is the only thing that's generational. It's something that I can leave to my kids if I do a good job with it. And
it's timeless.
It is timeless.
Better. Matter of fact, barbecue is the concept. Have you been watching barbecue for the last 20 years? It's just you know how you see a rocket. That's if you see planes or rockets. Yeah. It's been a rocket.
It's going to rocket, and it's almost straight vertical right now. Yeah. I mean, if you go out and get some of these big smokers, there's a wait list for them. Yeah. Because there's so many brands that are popping up all over the country. I
heard there were some you couldn't even get. They were a year and a half waiting.
Yeah, Moberg smokers is 18 months. Wow. Yeah, we tried to get them, and Clint is the economics of the business, and he said, "Look, we need to use some oilers instead of those." So, and he was right. So, and I still have the same product with them.
So what was after your first thought? Like, how long did it take from your first thought about it to the opening of the doors?
We were probably 2.25 years into it, just from designing the menus, the thought process of where you are everywhere in the line, what's the experience of the customer, what's the experience of the staff. All those elements are very well thought out.
Kelly, after you tasted it the first time, how long was it after you tasted it? Do you remember till they opened the doors? And did you ever say, "Oh my"?
I mean, it's because of the pandemic.
And did you ever say, "Is this going to happen? What's going on?" Or
well, as soon as we left that dinner, the initiation dinner, I guess you call it, the introductory dinner at that house, we immediately drove by the site where the restaurant was going to be, and at that point, it was just an abandoned building. But we kind of got excited, peeking in the windows, thinking there's some real possibilities here. So I think that night we decided we were in. But gosh, how long was it from that dinner to when we opened? It was well over a year.
Well over a year, probably 14 months.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, that building has some history to it. It is the original TGI Fridays.
I was just fixing to ask you. I thought it was a Friday.
Very first one in the country.
In the country.
In the country.
You ought to have some pictures up about that. Just the building history,
But when we used to go there, it was 2 rows.
Right.
Because when I moved to Dallas in '94, everybody would go to, I guess, 2 rows at that point. I remember hanging out there a lot. So it's part of that old space as well. Yeah.
You would think, being the first Fridays, anything that went in after that would do well for a consistent amount of time.
Yeah.
Well, 2 rows did pretty good for a while. Then they were expanded. And then we came in and swept it up.
So how long was it vacant before you did that?
3.5 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time for a restaurant. Yeah. Especially that shopping center.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a busy shopping center.
It's a very busy shopping center. It's very dense over there, population.
And you have parking.
We have a lot of parking.
The only reason I think Terry Black's has got great parking. I mean, you have to have parking. I mean, I just believe you have to have it.
You have to. Yeah, we've got about 230 spots.
Yeah,
so, and it's full sometimes. When on the weekends and stuff.
And the good thing about your business is at night, those other businesses, I think, they shut down.
They do,
the retail, and so you've got all the parking that you need.
We got all the parking we need.
Yeah.
So.
How's the music going?
Music's going great. We teamed up with a group in town that does a lot of the venues in town, and so we're on a good rotation. So if you're over the Virgin, you might see the same people over at us. If you're over the Rustic, it's the same crowd running through the circuit. So we're paying good money for it, and I want that element of the brand to be integrated with the food. It's all part of the master concept of everything.
People want to be entertained.
They do.
And that. That's why y'all showed us so well. Yeah. People want to be entertained. I mean, it's just especially nowadays.
Yes, any escape.
and especially now with COVID, it's even worse. I mean, it's more because people have been so locked up. A lot of people now that are actually forced to work from home. Yeah. Even though they thought it'd be a good idea first, now they get claustrophobic and they want to go out and do it, so they want to be entertained.
Yeah,
and we got a great patio for that too.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, over 100 people can sit on the patio. So.
Great craft drinks, food, and music.
We got a great
desserts.
Desserts, good whiskey list.
And the takeout's doing really well too, because some people still, if you're not comfortable, that's great. I mean, we want everybody to be comfortable, but the curbside delivery or pickup, I should say, has been doing really well too.
I think that. You're right. I told people when this thing started, there's going to be a lot of restaurants that are going to be able to have a different revenue stream, because some of them they're learning how to do their takeout during this deal. And they'll be able to keep it up, because there'll be some people that just don't want to go out with people. I mean, they don't want to be with people. People just like that anyway, and you give them that choice. And it especially the packaging. All the chefs I've run through here, there's been so many that have learned about to-go packaging, what works, what doesn't work, what seals, what doesn't seal, the bags. It works. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and you also have to rethink the service component of it too. I mean, you got 2 elements. You got a dine-in element, then you got the takeout element, and even a delivery element of it. So there's a lot of details you got to make sure you work through to make sure the experience extends all the way to the house.
Some of the best ideas come out of necessity.
That's right.
Figure it out.
That's right.
Just figure it out. And you don't always succeed. There's going to be some hits and misses, but.
So your podcast again is called Sandwich and Lovin'.
A Sandwich and Some Lovin'.
Right.
My husband and I started it. We just had our 300th episode.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm fixing to be my 100th, so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm a professional. I'm hitting the microphone. But we started it out. We're both on our second marriage, and it was a blending of two families. So we started off the month before we got married, and it was talking about relationships. And then it's kind of had to grow into something else. There's only so much people want to hear about divorced families coming together. Right. So, but yeah, we talk about everything, including Oak'd BBQ a lot because we're very proud of it.
Well, you got a great group of people. Awesome. I mean, you'll go on trips and do all sorts of
fun, it's really, fun and I'm sure you found with your audience too, it does become like a family.
Yes, it does.
And when we record the podcast, we have a YouTube channel so you can watch us record it live. And there's a chat room going, and we go on vacation with these people. I mean, it's like they've become truly part of our family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And you have a sandwich that you make. Was the podcast thought up first and then the sandwich, or the sandwich?
Yeah. We he wanted to do something just to,
tie it all together.
Tie it all together. And I'm from South Carolina, and we didn't do brisket.
No,
we just don't do brisket in South Carolina. Maybe I've been gone for a long time, but
they
still don't.
Chicken, pork,
and pulled pork. And so I told him, I said, well, if we're going to do anything, I'd like to pay homage to my southern roots. So pulled pork barbecue sandwich with slaw.
Yeah.
I can't believe people eat barbecue pork sandwiches without slaw on them. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. So he worked, and he tweaked it a little bit, So if if I go to Cane's Barbecue in Florence, South Carolina, I'll give them a plug too. Great barbecue. It's not the exact same sandwich you would get there because it has some little Texas twists to it.
Yeah, I never have understood why, especially now, the way Texas brisket is so delicious and so succulent and so flavorful. Yep. I don't know why it hasn't caught, but it hasn't. You go to places and they'll be like, no, we don't have brisket. We don't.
I think it's just tradition. Yeah. I mean, they're just roots of tradition, how they've always done it, and how their palate has grown up with that, and trying to reform that. Mid-age, it's hard to change anything.
And it's really funny in South Carolina too. And like I said, I'm just celebrating my 27th anniversary with the Kid Craddock Morning Show in May. But our barbecue restaurants were only open Thursday through Saturday. And I don't know if that's still a tradition.
That's a lot of them here.
Yeah, it's here too? Because, I mean, I don't know why. Why is that?
Well, I asked David that owns Cadillac Barbecue. I said, why are you open 3 days a week? He said, because I can't pay the bills on 2. I mean, some guys just don't want to work. They want to, and they have other things they want to do, and it's just how. And a lot of those guys with all that barbecue, sometimes they don't have a big business on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't save it. It just goes, if you don't eat it, it's gone, right?
You cannot reheat it. It's not taste the same. And I was going to tell you the places that I do, if I'm out of Texas and I'm like way far in Florida because I travel a lot, or California somewhere, and you get the brisket and you see the brisket come out and you're like, oh, no. Yeah. That's not the brisket I was thinking about. Although with Food Network stuff, that has really changed a lot.
It has.
In the last 5 years, all over everywhere, it's changed.
Yeah. Yeah. People are more savvy. Internet and the food channels have really educated people a long time, for a long time of what food should be and how it should be and everything like that. So
and that's how I built my brand, was being positive. I don't believe in being negative or bashing people. It's just not worth it. And so if you look at that fact, and that's what a lot of the stuff is brought off now. Cooking Channel, Food Network, they're doing all these positive shows on spins on food, and people see that. And people have bad food, don't stay in business. You don't really have to crucify them anymore. They're not going to stay in business very long.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. So I want to show the sandwich.
Let's do it.
And we get to make it here, correct?
We're going to do it right here.
Build it.
We're going to assemble that sandwich right here.
That's going to be awesome.
We're not going to smoke it, but we already did that overnight. So.
Let's take these off here now.
Okay.
Kelly's got the gloves on. He's ready to go.
Let
me give you this, Chris. Yep. That's awesome.
And they match my outfit.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So we've got our pork, but what's it? That's a Duroc pork.
It's a Duroc pork.
Yep. And we'll smoke that at 225 for a good 7-8 hours. And put a nice bark on it. I like a heavy bark. Our barbecue is a Central Texas barbecue. So we're doing heavy bark, salt and pepper, And
actually, since we're going to make this thing, let's heavy salt.
Yep.
We need to move some stuff around.
I just want to let the camera. Yeah.
Don't move the hats.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. We'll use the overhead camera, and then that way they can see us building that thing. You ready? Go right ahead.
You do most of the assembly. I'll just be your sous chef.
Okay, so we make a brioche bun every day. It's made for us in a bakery here in town, and we've got our pulled pork.
You got it?
Yep. And I'll trade with you.
How long is the pulled pork smoked?
Yeah, we're 7-8 hours into it. It just depends on how the proteins are working with us and our temperature and our smoke and everything. I'm looking for texture, viscosity of the meat, and temperature. So
and each one's different. Each one's different because of the size.
It is. I mean, it's just like briskets. I can have 40, 50 briskets in there, and they're all coming off different times. And so the most critical time of the day of the smoke part of the day is not putting it on. Right. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock in the morning. So, and we got to let it rest too. If you don't let your proteins rest, then it's not gonna.
Got to have the jiggle.
It's got to have the jiggle. We don't lose a lot of moisture, things like that. So, but we chop our our pork at the restaurant a little bit.
That looks so good.
No,
didn't that look so good?
It is.
It is amazing. So, and we kind of traditionally we pull it, like traditional pulled pork, and we like to have a lot of bark into it. I do your short butts because I want to have a nice bark to protein ratio. So I don't do long butts. I want to make sure that you're getting that in that ratio of that bark into.
That has something to do with the flavor too, correct?
It is. Yeah, it has a lot to do with the flavor. So.
It's all about that. It's all about that flavor explosion.
Yeah, and a lot of it. Look at all the meat, right?
Yeah. So
don't scrimp on that.
We're doing that, and then what we do is we put a little sausage and a little bacon on it.
A little sausage. Here we go.
Yep. I'll trade you here.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll set that over here. Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
You can pick at it if you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is our we of all our trimmings from our Wagyu briskets, we make sausage with that. And so this is our jalapeno cheese sausage.
I had that one.
It's got a little bit of pork blend into it.
You know what? When you say jalapeno sauce, people think a lot of times it's real hot. It's not hot.
It's not hot.
It's just got a slight heat
flavor,
for flavor.
yeah.
The
bacon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And how you do your bacon? You smoke your bacon?
We do smoke bacon, and so we're just getting our bellies in. We're just putting salt and pepper on them and throw them in the smoker for a couple hours, and then we let it cool down and we slice it.
How smoked bacon?
Then I rend it again. Put it and we put a little brown sugar, and we actually put whiskey with our brown sugar, and we hydrate it. Dehydrate it and make a whiskey brown sugar, and then we put that on top of the bacon, so it's got a nice caramelization to it. So there's one extra step to it. And we'll do it.
Good.
Yep.
He actually came to our house and made this for us, and we put our stamp of approval on all of this stuff.
I bet that slaw looks fantastic.
Yeah.
You know how you can go every once in a while go a place and the slaw is kind of it's I think they've used it like it's maybe 2 days old or something. Yeah, you can't pre-mix that stuff.
No, I mean one of the elements that we did at the restaurant, I designed all the stations down the line to be an action station. So we're carving meat in front of you, we're making salads in front of you, we're doing tacos in front of you. We're doing all the sides in front of you. We're actually putting the dressing onto raw coleslaw, tossing it, seasoning it, and then put it into a bowl for you. So it's hand tossed to order. Right.
And for that, you sell salads there too. I forgot. Correct.
We do. Yeah.
You have a salad station.
We have a salad station. We have 3 salads, so you can come in and get a salad, and then you can add any protein you want to it. So if you are with a group of people and you want we got an office come in, we got 3 ladies with the group, and usually the ladies are not going to be keen to eating barbecue 5 days a week like guys are. But they can get a salad. They can throw some turkey on it. 4 ounces of turkey or nothing on it or whatever you want.
That's what I thought that was a great idea when I first heard that. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. So we got our traditional sides, and we have some upgrade sides. We got roasted Brussels sprouts and roasted cauliflower.
So good.
I had those.
Yeah, it's really good. So and then we've got our traditional a Carolina sauce. It's a mustard based sauce.
And you make that obviously. We
make that at the restaurant. Yeah, we go through probably 100 gallons a week on it right now.
It smells good. Really?
You can choose your sauce at the end of the line, so you can either get Texas or Carolina. But for this sandwich, we recommend Carolina.
I would recommend Carolina, especially with the pork. Yeah,
you got to have that. It's very acidic, so you got to have that to cut the pork flavor. So and then we got a little acidity too on the coleslaw. And we just throw that.
It looks really good.
It's very good.
It looks.
So we just throw that on there, and then I'll let Kelly throw the bun on the top.
I finally get. This is my contribution. There you go.
So,
wow, look at that.
Look at that. So, and that's about the size of all our sandwiches.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy. So
look at that sandwich, y'all.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh!
And that's the sandwich and some lovin' sandwich. But there's also some other, sandwich options. But that's ours. Again, it gets our listeners involved. Another way we got our show involved was the naming of the smokers.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. I've never been in. I've eaten barbecue my whole life, but I've never been on the business end of it. That you traditionally name your smokers.
Right.
And so we had a contest among our listeners, and they named all the smokers.
Yeah, we have all the plaques are being made right now. So we'll probably in the next 2 weeks or so we'll have all the plaques up on the smokers for.
It's really fun. So we love being this involved as much as we can.
We want to have our audience, our customer base and audience involved in what we're doing on a daily basis. So it's not just coming in and dining; it's the experience of learning what we're doing, how we're doing it. We're going to start taking military vets down to the ranch every quarter and giving them appreciation lunch. I've got March 6th. I'm taking 60 of them down there. And that'll grow.
Fantastic. We'll
grow that into several hundred people every time we go.
The restaurant business used to be monotonous back in the day. 30 years ago, it used to be people go, they serve people, they make something in fun.
Yeah.
And nowadays, the restaurant industry has evolved into an entertainment for everybody.
It is.
And you want to keep everybody, including your staff. You have to keep your staff motivated and elevated too, or they're going to go somewhere else.
You got to build relationships and make it feel like you're part of our family. So we're all in this together, and I think that's important.
Yeah, very much so. In the work environment, and nowadays the restaurants are doing well. They have a great work environment, and it's just important.
Yeah, and I just have a firm belief: if you're not giving, you're not going forward.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I created this component of taking military guys down to the ranch. So
that's going to be that'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
Not only that, I think they're undervalued. Every time I see one, though I'm a police officer, fireman, I always make it a point to go out of my way to go say thank you.
Yeah.
And they always say thank you back because they don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't. So they don't get it enough.
They get a lot of people telling that they don't like what they're doing. So I mean, it's just a bad situation.
Well, we opened our door up to them, so I've already made it known to the local PD that our firehouses or emergency guys that you're welcome to come in the middle of the night where they're smoking. So if you need a safe place to go use the restroom instead of going to the racetrack and looking over your shoulder, you can come to us and sit down in our dining room, regroup. You might have went on a bad call, and it gives them the opportunity to kind of refocus and then get back on the street so they're safe.
So now that you've been in the restaurant business for a while, I'm AUD. My questions go like this, and then I land on one, kind of like cherry pick one.
Yeah.
Now that you've been in the restaurant business for a little bit, over a year now, I guess, right? Over a year.
I guess it hasn't been open that long, but our involvement.
What's your favorite thing about it?
Well, my favorite thing about it, I do love the food. But I love my drink.
You have a drink too?
Yes, because it's not just about the barbecue. It's about the craft cocktails too. Yep. And so my husband and I each have our own drinks, and you can go in and you can order the Kelly Raspberry Martini. It's a Chopin vodka, slightly dirty blue cheese olives, and it's fabulous.
That sounds good.
It's
I love blue cheese.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, I was there the other day, and the bartender, she was hand stuffing all the blue cheese olives.
That's the only way to do it.
I didn't know. I thought you can't go to the store and buy them.
No. So and if you could, you wouldn't want them anyway.
Right.
It's
not the same.
Nah.
So it was just so wonderful. And then my husband loves old fashions, and so he has his own.
What's the old fashioned? Just a normal old fashioned, or is it?
That's a great question.
I think it's isn't it Woodford?
Gotcha.
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah,
I'll phone Melissa, the GM.
I think it's Woodford. It
is Woodford.
Woodford's
it is
good,
Woodford.
Yeah. So they let us do that. So, but I just love the look of that martini in my hand. Yeah. I love that I have a little drink named after me, and it's part of the whole experience.
Yeah. So are you doing candied bacon at all there for anything?
We do. I mean, we're canning for the sandwiches. Okay. I mean, I'm making that Bursky bourbon and whiskey brown sugar. So we're making dehydrating the sugar, then put it on top of the bacon, and then cook the bacon. So it's caramelizing a little bit. So.
I went to a dinner last week, a chef-driven a dinner for Chef Jacob at Chef Jacob from Seven Doors and Kitchen in Colony, the new restaurant.
Yeah.
I know. I've been invited to go out
there.
You
need to go.
I know.
I know him. He's a good guy. He's very good.
Oh my God. It was 5 course, but everything had something candied, like candied bacon, candied this. It was and his candied bacon is without a doubt the best I've ever had. But it's he specializes in that. He's not trying to do bar, but he specializes in that. It's just, and candied bacon just become more and more popular. So that's all.
And they stick it in drinks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Candied bacon, old fashioned.
Yeah.
And they put a little bit, it's really good.
Yeah.
That's next on my list.
You got to keep evolving, keep creating. You can't
get bored
unless you want to have the show pan down the corner that's been in business for 50 years.
Yeah.
You have to evolve, and those places you just want to go and sit and hide, in the corner have a drink.
I'm working on menus all the time, recipes all the time. I mean, I'm working on a second chicken item to put on the menu. I've been working on different flavors for burn-ins, buffalo. I'm doing a whiskey one. We're doing a caramelized whiskey burn-in. So it's all.
So what kind of chicken do you serve? I haven't had your chicken yet.
We're just doing half chickens or free-range birds. So
awesome.
They're Rasberry-Evans is the brand we use.
And the biscuit I like so much. So how did the biscuit come out? Would you tinker with that a little bit, or was something you already had in your
we just knew that was an item we wanted to have on the menu. We have got our ovens. The way our line is designed, our ovens are right up front, so the customer sees the biscuits and some of the pastries coming out of the oven right away, and you can smell it too in the dining room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it's part of that experience of seeing that it's really fresh. So about every 18, 20 minutes, biscuits are coming out of the oven.
Who are you kidding? That dining room's a kaleidoscope of aromas, man. There's aroma from every direction, no matter where you go. I could smell it in the parking lot the first time I got there, and just smokers emulate that smell. They come up, and even when they're not, if you're not the people aren't in the restaurant, you can still smell it. Sometimes for blocks, depending on which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, I pull into the restaurant about 2 or 3 in the morning, and the first thing I get out of my car is I smell the smoke, and I love it. I can smell the sweetness of the oak and the sap and everything. And so now a couple hours later, I smell like that. But
you better hope if you don't smell it, you got a problem.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
So I want to bring some of the other stuff in, the biscuits and some of those food you have. And
we got wings, biscuits.
I can't wait.
We got our stuffed jalapenos.
Yeah, those look fantastic.
Oh, brisket stuffed jalapenos.
Yeah, they're good. So we actually smoke the brisket. We make a Southwestern chili sauce. That's part of my background is working in Southwestern restaurants. So I worked at the Mansion and Cafe Inn in Houston. And so we actually, after we smoke the meat, we toss it in a chili sauce that I make with a little cilantro, caramelized onions, and then we put cream cheese and cheddar cheese, and we stuff those jalapenios. So,
oh my gosh!
Look at this!
Look at this first.
Yeah.
You better be strong, boy.
Yeah.
So you want to leave this here or take it?
Yeah. Let's take it. I want to take pictures after. We'll take this. This looks phenomenal. This looks absolutely phenomenal.
So we do family boards like this. So you can come in and say, I need a family board for 10 or 12 or whatever, 15, and we will actually put a whole board like this together for your family. And
that's what we did when I brought my parents in for the first time to try it. We did a family board.
So these are called family boards?
Mm-hmm, they are, yeah. So we got a couple different sizes. Kind of just tell us basically how big your group is, and then we start throwing it together for you. And kind of gives everybody a little sampling of everything we got going on.
You obviously pickle your own stuff.
We do, yep.
Okay, and I've always been curious. Is that an everyday thing, or is it once a week, or how's
that happens probably about every 3 days.
Okay,
yeah. The longer they sit, the better they get.
Yeah.
And it's red wine vinegar, some herbs, some seasonings, and you'll bring it up to a boil, and then you just throw the wok in. It's really simple.
I can't believe this thing. Did you get an overhead shot of this thing yet, Ron? This is absolutely phenomenal to me. This is just. Yeah, there's your chicken right there.
Yeah, we've got our chicken, we got our bacon burn-ins, our turkeys, jalapeno sausage, our regular brisket burn-ins. This is our beef rib.
The burn-ins get me, man. I love those.
This is our prime brisket, and then our Wagyu brisket.
Okay, these things right here, these things, you just cannot.
Isn't that beautiful?
You cannot beat the presentation of a big beef rib. You just can't.
It's beautiful.
I always tell people I go caveman on it.
Oh, yeah.
There's no other way to do it. I mean, it's just, I don't want to mess the platter, but yeah. So, Kelly, what is your favorite thing on here?
I love when I go in, I get the brisket, but I ask them to chop it up for me. I like it chopped, but I also like to get the burnt ends.
You don't take the fatty brisket up and go like this and eat it?
No. I like it chopped. I guess that maybe, I don't know. I just like that. And my daughter is obsessed with the sausage. Yeah. Not the jalapeno, the other one. It's like the black pepper.
Black pepper garlic.
My daughter's obsessed. Every time I go to the restaurant, bring me back some sausage. So.
Black pepper garlic. I love the fresh jalapenos. I prefer them over pickled more than anything. I just there's something about the flavor but I will say this much: if you eat them enough, like I do, you get one. They're inconsistent as hell. You get one that's hot and one that has flavor but no heat.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think I asked one of the chefs one time that had a big farm, and he said it's because they've bred them and they've changed them so much in the seeds and stuff where they've made the seeds that they're not none of them consistent.
I think that's part of the fun. You just never know.
Well, hey, that is true. What's your favorite thing on here?
I'll tell you what, the beef rib is probably my favorite thing. I just goes back to my fine dining days of working in restaurants, eating foie gras and just really good high quality product, and the butterness of the fat of the meat is. And Well, it's marbleized is really good.
Do you know I put thousands of pictures obviously on social media every day. That's what I do for a living, and I can put a beef rib on there. And the expressions and the people's comments and or if you're in a restaurant with it, they're like, "What?" I think a lot of people are actually scared to order them. Still,
I think so too.
I think they don't know how to eat them. They don't, it's just, and then until you get that, every once in a while you get that. How much is that? Well, you know what? It doesn't really matter how much it is. If you want the experience, you got to pay for it.
That's right. Well, and I'm actually have about 10 whole ribs and pickling right now for pastrami. So next weekend we'll have pastrami beef ribs and a few briskets. So work on that.
Pastrami's making a comeback too, I think, because of social media and because of Food Network. They've been on pastrami stamps. But I mean, I everywhere I go now. I mean, I ordered one the other day. It was huge.
Yeah. So we'll actually slice it right because all our stations are action stations. So we're going to slice that right in front of you and build you a pastrami sandwich.
I like the way you say action stations. Yeah. I like that.
Back to my catering days.
Yeah.
Well, excited about that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning something new too.
See, but that's just like your show. This is why, even though I can go to a chef's restaurant 15 times, 20 times, and I can talk to him in his kitchen, but until he sits in that chair, I don't know really all the intricacies. But when they come and they sit you, talk to you for an hour, it just comes out accidentally, just off the cuff, because they have time to actually sit and talk to you, like you're drinking coffee or playing golf.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
you got to talk about these.
I'm fixing to.
Oh, those are so good.
My
husband went to the restaurant without me the other night because I had another obligation, but he did bring me home one of those. Yes.
We run out of them every day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good because that means you make them fresh every day.
Yeah, we run out of the wings every day. We run out of the jalapenos every day.
So
we probably half our menu every day is
perfect.
Done.
Yeah. These things just look beautiful. Look at that. Now, a lot of them you see are tiny.
Not these.
This is Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, also too though, you take time to make these. A lot of them are smaller and they're just easier to manage.
Right.
Easier to facilitate, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. Part of the trick too is making sure that the size equals to the caramelization of the bacon when you're smoking it.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that we're getting both things happening. We're cooking it inside, we're melting the cheese the correct way, and we're caramelizing the bacon and glazing it and all that. It's multiple steps happening.
Sure, to get to achieve the right flavor.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I guess you like these.
Oh, I love.
Which one was your husband? His name?
Alan.
Alan. Was he there that night? Did I meet Alan that night? No.
He was there that night.
Okay, I probably didn't meet him. Y'all were so busy, but yeah, I guess Alan. What's Alan's favorite thing?
He likes the Wagyu a lot, right?
He does,
I know he gets that a lot. Mm-hmm.
That's
and
awesome.
The wings. He's a wing obsessed person.
So here we go. Here we go with. I was just fixing to say with pastrami and then now the wings. The wing craze has just gone absolutely wacko.
It has. Yeah. So these are a 3-day process. These wings. So we marinate them for 3 days, and then we smoke them for a couple hours, and then they get cooled down, and then they get fried, and they come out of the fryer, and we toss them. And
these just look fantastic.
Yeah. You got to try one.
Wait till you taste them.
I'm going to. I'm going to try a little bit of everything.
Okay, good. They're amazing. So, and we like I said, we sell out of them every day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
It is a good sign.
So, are y'all doing anything for Super Bowl? I mean, do y'all sell a lot of wings to go, or is it mostly in the restaurant?
Go is picking up every day. I mean, it just continues to grow as part of the business, and so I think it's because we're getting better at it, and people are knowing that it exists. Yeah. And so the to-go part of the business is growing.
I'm excited about the tamales because I know you're getting ready to. I mean, because
Yeah,
every holiday special occasion, you have 2 dozen tamales, you know.
And that would be the cue to see the tamales, please.
Yeah, I mean, we make our tamales from scratch every day. So there's this awesome lady in our kitchen, and she makes these awesome tamales and makes the stuffed jalapenos, and she's very good at it. So
they're so good.
Listen, this stuff is so heavy. His arms are shaking when he comes in here. They brought us. Y'all can't see it on the screen, but they brought it. I mean, his arms are literally shaking when he sets the stuff down. So these things look fantastic.
Well, you get good, generous portions. You know, I don't mind paying for quality.
And unwrap one and break it in half. You'll see how much.
These are huge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times have you unwrapped a tamale and there's hardly anything in there?
Oh, no, yeah.
That's
all
so
masa.
Exactly.
It's all masa. Yeah. And I don't want that. I want you to have the whole experience. I mean, we're in the meat business. Okay,
That's right.
The barbecue business. You're in the meat business.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure you're giving that meat experience even through a tamale.
Okay, those are going to go home with me.
Absolutely, enjoy them.
I actually brought some just for you. And
good. Yeah, because my Jenna, she loves tamales, and that's a big complaint of mine. Yeah, and I eat a lot of tamales, especially in the holiday season.
Right.
Sometimes you open up and literally, there's not even a spoonful of meat.
No.
It's like they make them so quickly; they're just rushing them out, and it's like, but this is an experience. They're so good.
Yeah, and you can come into the restaurant and get them frozen in half dozens in our frozen case, or you can get to get them hot and fresh made.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if all you need something for dinner tonight, but you don't want it hot, you can get it frozen and take it home. And
so what do we have? So let's see. I know you make your pico there.
Yeah, make pico. We make our own tomatillo salsa, and then we have our own roasted tomato sauce.
I love this. How about this?
Part of my philosophy behind the smokers and the whole concept of the restaurant is the smokers are a vehicle for ingredients to put into food. So like our potato salad, we only smoke the corn. There's nothing else smoked in it. So on the salsa, we smoke only the onions.
Yeah, because you give it a slight flavor.
That's right.
Some guys want to smoke. Like I went to a place the other day.
Overwhelming.
They had a smoked apple pie. I'm like, dude, all I can taste is smoke. I didn't. I mean, it's just
or make queso and throw the whole thing in the smoker.
Yeah.
And so we just we pick ingredients. And use the smokers as a vehicle to make those dishes happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's just fantastic. And the biscuits. I don't see that. Hey, can we get some biscuits, please? Food wagon.
Let's see. He might have to take some of this away and make room.
Yeah. Well, I want to get a picture for you guys. This has just been absolutely phenomenal. Can I have one of those orange towels on there too, please? Thank you, sir.
There's butter on there, so it's
good. Whoop. If it did, it'd be good. It'd be spelled right on the beef. I'd eat it anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm a butter-loving dude, man.
Oh, I am too.
Man, my granddad used to say, if you can't make something taste good with salt, pepper, and butter,
right?
Then it's. But look at these things.
Massive.
They're massive, aren't they?
But it's also the presentation because every one of them. I was watching them all come out that night. Every one of them looked visually incredible, perfect.
Well, and they're we're all made by scratch, and we hand cut them, and so they're all a little bit different because that just shows you the homemadeness. Is that even a word? I don't know. But,
that sounds good to me.
Yeah. So and we pour our warm butter on with a little bit of honey in it. So
I don't know if you remember, but I poured when I took that picture that one night. I poured a whole thing of butter on there and just kept. It was so good.
It was good.
I mean, literally, I love biscuits, and I was just mesmerized by the biscuit. Everything else was delicious, and I had he'll have to bring me in a minute, but one of the oat cookies and everything. But I mean, it was just all amazing.
Yeah, I mean that leads right into our desserts. I mean, we have a pastry team on staff. We're making desserts from scratch every day. We hand stamp a cookie, a shortbread cookie with our logo on it, and it's just. Let's
talk about your pastry chef minute. Can we? Let's elaborate on the pastry chef minute.
So Ceci Mendoza, she opened up the last 4 Naboo restaurants. She's worked for Kent Rathburn, Georgie. She's just an expert at what she does at her craft.
If you don't know who Kent Rathburn is or Nobu, you shouldn't even be watching this show. Or listening.
That's right.
And we have on the menu every day handmade ice cream.
We do, yeah.
Always.
I didn't know that.
Cinnamon. And vanilla, but cinnamon. Yeah. I was so excited.
One of the reasons we get along really well is because we both love cinnamon ice cream.
I love cinnamon ice
cream. It's delicious.
It's my favorite.
And to get it on a piece of hot apple pie or some of our other desserts, it's perfection.
When did you start doing ice cream? Because I didn't have any ice cream that night when you were
there.
Day one.
Day one?
You just didn't see it.
So we have 3 flavors. We have vanilla, cinnamon, and then a flavor of the week. Yeah. So I think this week is chocolate chip cookies. That we crumble into chocolate ice cream. So it's like a triple chocolate chip.
Cinnamon and vanilla always, and then the special flavor.
Cinnamon's a popular color, right? I mean, a popular flavor, not color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And don't be letting anybody touch this out there now. I got to take pictures.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it. And I also too. I love all the boards for the presentation. I think.
Yeah, that's part of it.
I think for a barbecue or a beef restaurant, I think that our charcuterie boards. I think that the wood is the way to go. I think there's no other way to do the presentation. It's meaty. It makes it look meaty and beefy and big and strong. And Have you seen? God, that thing looks great. There, are you hitting our microphones? Thank
you.
Thank you.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, so we got a whiskey chest pie. We've got a key lime pie. Our bread pudding with whiskey sauce, pecan. This is a banoffee, which is a English banana pudding. So it's made with toffee.
Yeah, I never had that until Oak'd
Wait,
and
it's
served
made
it.
with
And
toffee?
Yeah,
it's that you can't keep that. People just go crazy over that.
they do.
That looks fantastic.
And I'd never heard of it until Oak'd served it.
This looks fantastic.
Yep.
You know, I know you know this, but half of the flavor battle is the presentation.
It is.
And I mean, your presentations are all fantastic.
Well, thank you. So,
Yeah.
and this is a not Hershey's. It's a chocolate s'mores.
Hershey's.
The reason I said it's Hershey's because I'm collaborating with Hershey on it. So,
okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing a cross marketing branding. So with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you might have said this a while ago, but I wouldn't. What is that?
It's our bread pudding, and we use our.
You had that.
It is so good. Yeah, it is so good.
And we had the key lime pie.
Yeah, I was also going to say that's key lime pie.
I mean,
yeah.
we've had it all. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, desserts is it's just like brisket. What we have is what we got for the day. We're out, and we'll make it again tonight for tomorrow.
Where did you get okay, when I saw this the first time I was over there, I was like, that's a great, where'd you get the idea for that, to stamp your cookie? Did you
My
see
13-year-old.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, she's a Nerdy Nummies fanatic.
Oh, wow.
And so she said, Dad, you got to make the oak tree on the cookie. They do it on Nerdy Nummies. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's so special.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I went and had someone cut out with a 3D printer, our logo, and we've got stamps.
So is this a social media focal point? Do people take pictures of that all the time?
They do, yeah.
Okay.
And that was part of the thinking process
Yeah.
after I, was educated by my daughter. Yeah.
So social
she's
media.
smarter than me.
Yeah,
She's 13.
at that age they are, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Well, social media is
Yeah.
huge.
Well-
If restaurants aren't taking advantage of it, they're really, really behind the 8 ball on that.
Yeah.
I was just fixing to tell you that there's a guy that opened up a restaurant in Dallas. I went to his opening. It was a few months ago, but he supplies everybody when you come to the door with a light. It's a little plastic
ring light?
a ring light, and it's cheap. I don't know if it's $2 or whatever it is. In case
Right.
somebody steals, they don't steal them, but he gives it to them, and they take a ring, and they can use that ring light to make all their pictures look good.
How nice.
smart.
So, yeah,
That's smart.
because lighting is never right in a restaurant, no
It's
matter
never
where you
right.
are. You know, we use our cell phone, and I carry another light that we use. Well, you probably saw us, but
Yeah.
it's
We might steal that idea, huh?
Yeah.
But it's I mean, he said they're so cheap. It's fine if I lose a couple. He doesn't. They mostly leave them there,
Yeah.
but yeah, it just makes presentation.
Yeah, you just have to think about those things. You have to have a pretty wall for people to stand in front of because they all want to post where they were, and
Yeah.
you've got to do
Step
it.
and repeat banners have
Yeah,
become
exactly.
the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all going to be in front of one we get through here downstairs taking a picture.
Oh, okay. That's
I can't
right.
wait.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
So what is the since you've opened up, what is the most fun thing for you at the restaurant? What do you like the most about it?
I love sharing what we're doing for people.
So you don't have pleasure and stuff.
I just love to teach people how we're doing the process and what it takes to make it happen, and they see the appreciation in my face and the explanation to them.
And your creative process, how does your creative process work? Do you see something and can you work on that, or do you create it yourself, or because everybody has different ways they create dishes and stuff?
Yeah, from my event days owning a big catering company, I work backwards. So I envision the event, and then I go backwards. How do I get there? So I envision a dish or envision something, and then work backwards to get to that point. So it's just create my own roadmap and make it happen.
It's funny. It's kind of 50-50. Some chefs do it that way. Some chefs do it the other way. That's why I love the creative process.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're there and you spend time there actually doing it, you can, because a lot of times they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it, or they don't have the ability to talk about it, or they're scared somebody's going to take their process or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I just look at what am I trying to do, and sometimes I'll sketch out. I mean, I'm a sketcher, so I have pieces of paper all over my desk at home, and my wife's like, "What's going on?" But I'm working on things, and it's just to lock in that idea, because I'm got other moving parts and other things happening, so I got to make sure I don't forget about it, and then I'll come back to it that night or the next night and rethink about it. So.
I'm a touchy feely kind of guy. I mean, I like when I buy something, I want to pick it up, look at it, touch it. It's amazing to me now. People can order food or a car or whatever off the internet and never look at it, never see it, and then it just comes to their house. I still cannot do that, and I'm trying, but I'm having a hard time. I'm just a real, I don't know. How
Nothing
are you?
wrong with that,
No.
Keeping local in business.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite thing?
Well, it's going to sound terribly ego-driven, but I love walking into that restaurant and feeling like, that people know who you are. You start seeing the regulars, and you feel like a sense of family inside the restaurant. It's like that whole bit with Cheers when you walk in, Norm, I want Kelly, I love that. It's special to feel like you belong somewhere.
That's not ego-driven. That's satisfaction-driven.
It's you just feel, I love that. So, and it's just such a welcoming place to be. Whenever I walk in, Nathan always comes and gives me a hug, safely, of course.
Yeah.
And it's just fun. It's just fun to see the same faces and know that you're going to have a great experience, good food, good cocktails, good music, and like a family environment.
Sure. And what's his favorite thing,
Oh, well, I would say probably the same thing as me. We love that feeling of the belonging, like we belong to part of something that's really special.
If you make people feel like that, they keep coming back.
Yeah.
Because there's so many choices now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Are we still like the most restaurants per capita? I mean, so you're fighting
we beat
for it.
We beat out California. Yeah.
Especially since they're all moving here.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah.
We just want everybody that comes once, they want to come back again and again, and part of that is that family feeling.
Yep.
We've been trying to buy a house, a new house, and if you look at one, it's gone the next day. You can't even.
Right.
It's just
don't fall in love with it until you know you're going to do it.
No, they're saying that there's for every one house, there's 4 people that want it.
Is that
and
right?
It's like
bidding wars like crazy too.
And it might be like that if they keep coming. It's going to be like that about the ribs and the bread pudding and the wings too.
Yeah,
you better hope. So
are you making it?
Are y'all? Is it still? I haven't checked in the last month. Is it still 50%? What's the capacity?
It's still 50%. Yep.
Okay, so you
Patio's not, but
I know, but you haven't been open full. You haven't been open full yet, have you?
No.
Oh boy.
Yeah, when we're finishing our 14th week. So
yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait till you can blow it out.
Oh, I think March is when it's going to be a full throttle for the whole city.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
but also too, what this has done for y'all being in a new restaurant business is giving you the ability to hone.
It is.
And make it run like a fine Swiss watch. So when you're ready, because the worst thing is to open a restaurant and have it go all bonkers.
That's right.
Yeah, and right now with the way things have been, people I think are more forgiving. They're just so thankful to be out that they'll forgive a few little mistakes here and there.
People should be more forgiving anyway. The restaurant business, and that's why I had that conversation with the guy, Joel, was in here for my last show. And he's had several restaurants and he's seen the social media craze, come up, and it's just, people that don't understand anything about the back of the house, front of the house, or how kitchen works or anything. They make these comments, and their comment really was just because their food was 15 minutes later, because it wasn't, and really all you have to do is say something and they fix it.
Right.
But they just want to make it from this to this. And
I think everybody should wait tables at one point in their lives.
Exactly.
I did. And
once
you'll see everything from a whole different perspective, because then as a wait person, the waitress or waiter, you know what's going on in the back, you know what's going on in the front, and everything always falls on you, know.
Yeah, but it's very humbling.
It's very humbling, and it makes you way more sympathetic when you go out.
And in reality, nobody opens up a restaurant to sling bad food or bad service at anybody. That's not what they want to do. No. So things happen. It's life. It's everyday life, and it just irritates me when I see these. I'm just like, oh my Lord, I don't even know where people come up with this stuff.
With social media too, it's like the funniest reviews or comments are always the meaner ones. How creative can we be? But it's pretty cruel, and you could really do a lot of damage just trying to be funny and get more likes on your post.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I think the most comical post that we've had yet is a gentleman, and he wrote a long passage about our hand soap in our bathroom. It took away all the barbecue smell, so when he got home, he couldn't smell the barbecue on his hands.
That's a good.
If that's the only complaint, we'll take it.
But some of the comments are passive aggressive,
right?
You know what I mean, and that's not good either. But you know what? That's a good. How'd you find that soap?
That's a great question.
Because I eat with my hands. I mean, I love to get in there and just go all caveman on everything, especially but everything.
I'll text it to you what it is, because I don't know off the top of my head.
No, but it's great because you leave a barbecue restaurant. First of all, if you get most time I want to go back in the smoke. I mean, you smell like it anyway. Your vehicle smells like it, and you're like, oh God.
Every time you turn your head.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, exactly.
The favorite thing is my girlfriend says if we're going out there, she says, well, okay, we're not going to a barbecue place, and we're not. I don't want to smell like that. You know, she didn't say it like that, but she's real nice. She just lets me know that if we're going to go to a party or do something, we're going to go out.
You just need to carry a bottle of Febreze.
There you go.
Keep it in the glove box and squirt her down.
So what is all the Oak'd social media handles? Is it Oak'd BBQ? All the
Oak'd BBQ.
Oak'd BBQ.
But it's OAKD.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's not ED.
Yeah, and the first time I did it, I was like, I know this place. What am I doing? And I looked it up. I was like, oh, there. I went to Google, of course.
Yeah.
And there it was.
OAK''D.
Yeah, which I like. That's cute because it's a play on the word.
Well, and we're doing, like I said, Central Texas barbecue, and we're using Texas Post Oak. And if you come to the restaurant, you've been oaked.
Oh, I like that. You need shirts that say you've been oaked.
We got the hats you saw there.
Yeah,
we sell some merch.
Here.
Yeah, so we're expanding the merch. We'll have to add
that. I like the leather.
The leather patch,
I like that. I like that a lot.
We sold 450 hats in the first 4 weeks.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that they're wearing them on their head, and people are seeing them. That's the big thing.
It is.
That's why merch is so fantastic.
It is, and I don't make a single dime on it. I don't want to. Yeah. I want people wearing my gear.
Bands, ask the Rolling Stones. They figured that out years ago.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
So on your website, real quick before I forget about it, oakbarbecue.com?
Yes, sir.
And do you have all the shows and everything on there?
All the what, I'm sorry?
All the shows and everything you do every week, is that on the website or is it on the social media?
It's on the social media.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go to Instagram or Facebook, you see what's happening and who's coming up this week.
Okay, perfect. Anything else you want to say before our show is about to be over and poof, we're gone?
And we can start eating?
Yeah, we can start eating.
I just appreciate you having us on the show today, and we thank you for the opportunity just to visit with you and have that relationship with you.
I love it, man. I think it's a fantastic concept.
Yeah, thank you.
And not only that, you had one thing I remember when I first walked in, you had oaked in it was on your Ventahood stamped
on steel.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, and we have number 2 coming.
I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You're open number 2.
Number 2 is coming. It'll be here in February or March next year.
For long, you're not gonna have these things in New York and L.A. and Miami.
We're just doing a couple of them. That's it. I don't want to dilute the brand. So
Well, but I don't know if it's good. It doesn't matter. It's going to be, and I know it will be. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, your beef. What's the name of your beef company again? Rosewood.
Well, yeah, we use Rosewood beef. Yep.
Rosewood beef. Okay.
Rosewood Wagyu.
I said that a while ago, and I didn't say that. And they have their website. Do they sell retail or just to restaurants?
They do retail through some butcher shops.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but mainly through the restaurant industry.
Okay.
They're focused on the high end chefs and the high end concepts because the quality is really good.
All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for doing it.
So much.
Appreciate it. So
I just can't wait to come over and try some more great, delicious, meaty deliciousness.
Well, when your girlfriend doesn't mind smelling like it, let us know, and my husband and I will meet y'all there.
That'll be fun. I tell everybody if you go there, it's a trip straight to Deliciousville. So that's all. That'll be in the back of your shirt.
Well,
trip to Deliciousville.
We got a lot of cool things working. I do too. So please stay in tune. What's happening, and a lot of things with Kelly, and they're doing the podcast at the restaurant.
Oh, that's right. God, we talked about so much today. Loving it. Sandwich and some loving.
Yeah.
Sandwich and some loving.
Yeah.
I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Yep. Thank you for having us.
And we'll see y'all same time next week. TreysChowdown.com. Check out all our blogs for our best barbecue coming up this year. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Welcome to the River Ranch Stockyards Event Center in Fort Worth, Texas. Events, weddings, corporate events, parties, you name it, River Ranch Stockyards can do it all. Check them out, riverranchstockyards.com. A proud partner of Trey's Chowdown and Trey's Chowdown Live. Hope to see you at the table soon. Adios. Hi, I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of TreysChowdown.com. I'm passionate about finding the best food, drinks, and chefs and sharing it all with you. I should know I have over 5 decades of food experience. Find me on any podcast platform, Facebook Live, or just Google me. Now you can watch and listen to all my great finds every week on my live TV and radio podcast at Trey's Chowdown Live.